Now with that, let's bring in Babylon Bee CEO and my childhood friend from church. That's a real story. Seth Dillon. Seth, it's great to see you.
Great to see you, Guy.
All right, let's start with this, just broad strokes, your reaction to what we heard from Mark Zuckerberg today. Really significant.
It is. I mean, on the one hand, we're celebrating because, we've been fighting the battle for free speech for a long time. The fact checking was something that literally almost killed the Babylon Bee. We were getting fact checked so relentlessly. So many of our jokes were getting rated false, silly jokes like CNN purchases industrial sized washing machine to spin the news in before publishing it, or, AOC goes on The Price is Right and guesses everything is free. These silly jokes are getting rated false, and the media was characterizing us as traffickers in misinformation under the guise of satire. Those are the exact words from a New York Times report. And so, we were facing this situation where we were being threatened with demonetization and deplatforming because we were spreading fake news. But that's literally what satire is, right? Funny fake news. So our business was threatened by fact checking for years, and we've been fighting that fight for a long time. So it's great to see him reversing course on that.
Seth, and this is my opinion, and you can agree with it or not, but looking at Mark Zuckerberg, I'm glass half empty on this. This would not be happening, and these words would not be coming out of this guy's mouth if President Trump had not won the White House again. Because I talked to somebody in tech earlier today who said, oh, he's a lifelong libertarian. And I said, okay, well, how come just a few weeks ago that Instagram and Facebook were penalizing and demonetizing people for standing up for biological women in sport? This is just pig potatoes. How long does it last?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how much it matters what the motivation is, as long as the result is more speech in the public square. And, if they were feeling a lot of government pressure before through the back door. Thankfully, that pressure is being removed now. Trump isn't going to be pressuring him the same way. His administration isn't going to pressure him the same way. He seems relieved by that. Is it genuine? I'm not sure. I don't know his motivations. I don't know what he's actually thinking. All I can go by is what he said publicly. And what he said publicly is a very good thing that should be applauded. And he should be encouraged. And he should feel good about the fact that he's going to have a lot of people now on his side and in his corner, because he's taking a strong stand for free expression. The only downside for us is that it was actually extremely entertaining when our jokes were getting fact checked. It was a lot of fun. We're actually about to publish a thread where we showcase some of the funniest fact checks that ever happened. But so on the one hand, it's like, yes, it's great, we have more free speech, but on the other hand, we lose that the comedy that comes with jokes getting rated false.
Seth, I would encourage people, as soon as the bottom line is over, to go and look up the full statement and the full video that Zuckerberg put out. I think there was a lot of good stuff going point by point on the substance of the changes that they're making, a lot of which I think are really positive and overdue. But something that you just referenced there, one of the more striking things that Zuckerberg said was he talked about working with President Trump moving forward to defend free speech, and then basically directly called out the Biden-Harris administration for being pro-censorship for the last 4 years. He didn't really sort of beat around the bush on that. He just said it.
Yeah, and he's said it before. He's mentioned, I think he put out like a memo or something. It was probably about a year ago, wasn't it? I don't know. It was a little while ago. I'm not very good with my memory on the timeline of things. But he had put out a statement before talking about the pressure that they felt. And he apologized for acquiescing to some of that pressure, giving into it, caving, and actually doing the government's bidding. And of course, as we all know, it's unconstitutional for the government to do something through a third party, to outsource censorship that would be unconstitutional if they did it themselves. They can't do that. So, it's good that he sees a problem with that and that he's acknowledging that he's calling that out.
And it's worth noting that the Supreme Court, midway through last year, punted on that case related to censorship via surrogate. And there was a grave concern going into the election that would allow the Democrats to force these social media companies to censor political speech. And it was the censorship of your account on the former Twitter, making a joke about Rachel Levine, that led to Elon Musk buying what is now X. So praise be on that, Seth.
Yeah, and that was the gender policy. You know, they baked their radical ideology into the terms of service so that if you disagree with it, just simply expressing a viewpoint on the issue that they don't like, you know, referring to a male person as a man was considered an enforceable policy violation. That's a major speech problem. And it's great that they're getting away from that. I actually don't mind the community notes that they're going to be moving to, because that's more speech as an answer to speech that you don't like.
And it's better than, I think, a lot of these so-called fact checkers who put their thumb on the scale. Community notes, not perfect, but better than PolitiFact, for example, at least as I see it.
Yes.
Seth Dillon, it's so good to see you.